Yes, can you see my slides? So my name is Tomonori ICHINOSE from Miyagi University of Education from Japan, Tohoku areas. Our university is also participated in UNESCO Associated School Project Network for more than 10 years. So today I would like to talk about the disaster communication for UNESCO site and education for disaster risk reductions. So as I say that our university is located in Tohoku, Sendai city. So other one has already mentioned, we have a Sendai framework of disaster risk reduction in 2015. So this Sendai framework, we say disasters, but this disasters already contained a biological hazard. Let's see the Sendai framework of disaster risk reduction 15. So this present framework also applied to the disasters caused by the natural hazard, man-made hazard, and environmental hazard, and also containing biological hazard. In this situation, we cannot separate in natural hazard and man-made hazards. And also we are tackling about the SDGs 3s. As you know, SDGs 3s is for the health and promote well-being at all for all ages. So in this SDGs 3.3, I say that by 2030 is the end of the pandemics of communicable disease. And SDGs 3 also say that strengthen the capacity of all countries, in particular developing countries, for early warning, risk reduction, and managing of natural and global health risks. And we are targeting and tackling for this SDGs 3. So let's see these pictures. This is the pictures. We have two pictures here. One picture is Tohoku earthquakes and tsunami in 2011, also almost 10 years ago. And the pictures on the right side is the biological hazard, just like now. And this is also used carbon board in the gymnasium and in the classrooms. And we are all teachers and we train teachers, and we also have a student. We also thinking which is the best way for the tackling all successive disasters. And here, I would like to introduce what is disaster communication. This is my individual definition, but we are in the field of education and natural hazards, biological hazards, and sometimes these hazards, complex hazards. These hazards frequently happen, like the disasters we suffered in 10 years ago, and now we have also suffered in COVID-19. So the disaster communication is a dialogue to the past and present experience. This time our topic is COVID-19 school openings. And through these experience, teachers continue to develop their professional skills for the constructing school resilience, and the school which has a resilience to the hazards. So this is my models. So the hazards are always happen, natural hazards, biological hazards, and sometimes complex hazards. And the school, which should we have resilience. So what is the contents of the resilience? We think about the school buildings and the school equipment, and we have to reform curriculums. And sometimes we need to integrate the elements of the disasters into the ordinary subject. And we also think about the student caring for the students. And we have to create and build up the resilience of the schools. And for this, we need the teachers' capacity development. Especially, we need to collaborate and communicate with local societies and regional societies and absorb the experience of international societies. In this stage, we need to apply adapting the scientific approaches, as Dr. Rajiv Shaw mentioned to us. So this is one of the disaster communications. This is the way. So I would like to concrete examples here. This is our, we are now in Tohoku areas. We have a lot of SPNet schools, and we have many UNESCO sites. I don't know, you have a UNESCO site here in your residential areas. We have a lot of UNESCO sites. For example, biosphere reserves. Sometimes we have some historical natural heritage and cultural heritage. And sometimes we also have a Ramsar Convention wetland and so on. And these are including disaster memorial site. And what I want to say that we need to utilize those UNESCO sites into educations. And we also have a UNESCO associated schools, some town board of education and city board of education. They have so much concern about these utilization of the UNESCO site. And we utilize those UNESCO site and these resources. They utilize these UNESCO site as an experiment and outdoor learning and education base. And for this experiences, schools in UNESCO like work together with itself and with its local communities. Many ASP.NET schools in Miyagi choose DRRs as their research topics before and after Tohoku disaster and tsunami 10 years ago. Currently, Miyagi ASP.NET schools, we have started to related experience and DRR research topics to other ASP.NET schools in Japan. ASP.NET were all supported by the concept of education for sustainable development and SDGs. This continuation of these practices resulted in a deepened mutual understanding and communication among children and students, parents, the community residents, and social education facilities such as community centers. So during the hazards, the relationship between communities and school played an important role in establishing and operating evacuation spots, evacuation centers. And from these experiences, local residents have gained the awareness of the school as an imperative part of local communities. Just this is one of the suggestions, but those are utilizing a UNESCO site is very effective to work together and tackling for the natural hazards. And one of the model of here in Miyagi, in this district, we have links together with those local city of education, sometimes social educational institutions, and sometimes we have also have a UNESCO association. We set up one coordinators and link together and learn together about a topic is very huge. So sometimes environmental education, sometimes we learn about disaster risks, sometimes we learn about international issues. So one of the suggestions is we would like to create those consortiums in small areas and wide areas. And so this time our topic is the reopening schools. As you know here, because of the COVID-19, interrupting education services are very serious and long-term consequences for economics and society, such as increasing inequalities, poor and health outcomes, and reduce social cohesions. And UNESCO also present us the framework for the school reopening schools in April 2020. And they say that we should analyze local context, specific benefits and the risks, enables a prioritization of schools for reopenings. And we need mitigation measures within school and communities. And we also focus on the remote learnings. And in this, this is the general framework to the all over the world. And our next Ministry of Education also, they provide us school reopening manuals for us. And we learn, we can share those school manuals, especially those scientific-based data and the scientific-based discussion. Communication is very important. So today we invite 10 master course students from, I'm sorry, we have 7 in-service teacher training course students in Miyagi University of Education from India, Bhutan, Tonga, Nigeria, and Brazil, just like that. And so India, Japan, Tonga, Bhutan is included in UNESCO Jakarta office areas. And we also learned about from Africa and South America. And what is a key point of this today's discussion is that just like that, we faced a lot of challenges. For example, we should think about the school equipment, water, sanitation, and hygiene. Preparing hygiene kits and prevention kits we should prepare. And we think about the ventilation of the classrooms. And now it's the summer season here in our district, and how to attach air conditioning now is the important point for us. And long distance education, this is Dr. Rajiv shows talked to us. This is one of the development and positive advancement for us, but we need a local based local context. Some areas they use the printed take-home materials, and some areas they choose television education programs. And the other districts they use the PowerPoint presentations, online live classrooms. In some areas they can use this Google Meet or Zoom or other ICT equipments. And we should keep physical distance. How do we keep physical distance? This is very important things we should think. Especially now we restricted to invite visitors from outside of the schools. How to connect to the local communities. This is one of the challenge for us. And as for the teachers, decreasing of the social learning time is a very serious issues. We reduced the normal study time. We for example, in Japan, we count the home study time as school learning times, and the cutting of the large gathering time and the inter-school activities are now is postponed. And we also think about the psychological support, and they are in the homes, kids are in the homes, domestic abuse and depressions. They have a lot of mental issues. So we think about these topics after listening the students' report from all over the world.